not meant to be walls, because sometimes there has to be flex in those boundaries. And, but consciously thinking about when you need to flex and when you need to step over the boundary is, I think, what is both the challenge and the opportunity for those of us that are trying to manage all aspects of our lives. And, as a mom, as a female, and as a working parent, all of the combination of whichever angle you look at it from, I think that there's a bit of flexibility and agility that comes in our lives. And so the boundaries are meant to help us stay on course. But there are times when we have to flex a bit. So I think that's the difference between a boundary and a wall.
Thank you. Yeah,
great answer. Thank you.
It's a tricky concept. Yes,
it is.
For me, I found the overarching theme of your latest book, The Art of the Juggling Act, is kind of this ever-elusive search for and obtaining of balance. And you've written a thorough yet bite-sized guide from your lived experiences, and also getting some help from some of your friends and colleagues. Yeah. When I think of balance in my life, I think of it like an airplane that's on autopilot. It doesn't fly in a perfectly straight line. It subtly kind of moves, back and forth within the guidelines, the parameters of what's been set. But the pilot also has to make adjustments along the way. So when I think about that, and I think about balance, and I think about juggling and boundaries, as we've talked about, what does balance look like for you, Sarah, today? And how often do you have to make adjustments to juggle the 5 pillars that you speak of in the book, which is work, family, friends, health, and spirit? What do some of those adjustments look like as you're moving through with balance?
No, it's a great question. And yeah, I do think balance is one of the things we're all trying to figure out in life. And first of all, balance is a very personal thing, personal concept. And what balance means, what I would seem to think is balance in my life, someone else might say, gosh, that looks very out of balance. And so I do think it's a very personal definition. And I've reflected on it a lot over the years, because in the early stages of my career, I'd say I was probably very out of balance in terms of how I was approaching life. And then through the course of both my career and then starting to raise Grace, I put more focus on what that balance would look like. And similar to, I love your autopilot analogy, Michelle. What I think about is I use something called a fluid stance when I stand at my standing desk, and it kind of moves with me. And so I think about standing on that platform, and you're constantly shifting.